Hello viewers, welcome to UN College digital class. In today's class, I am going to discuss about constructor and destructor in C++. Let's start. We know that in C++ we are using class, which is a very important feature of object oriented programming, and we know that in class you can combine both data and member function. Okay, constructor is nothing, it is just a member function, but it is a special member function. Similarly, destructor is also a member function and it is also having some special purpose. Now we will discuss constructor and destructor in detail. When we are writing a class, suppose I am taking one example. Let the class is class demo. Just I am writing the syntax to explain the constructor. Okay, constructor member function. Class demo, then private. If you are not writing private, then all the member are by default private. Okay, suppose private int n. Then in the public part, suppose I am writing void input. Okay, in order to input a number. I am just not writing any coding, and after void input, suppose I am writing void show, and in the void show function I am displaying the value of n. Suppose this is the simple class. In this class, the int n is the data member and input and show are the member method. Okay, if we will define constructor in a simpler way, then the constructor may be defined as a member function which is used to initialize the data member of a class. This is the first point. Second point is that constructor is invoked automatically during runtime. Now I am going to explain the use of constructor in class demo. In the previous example, I have written that class demo, and inside demo I have used one int n, and in the public part I have used void input. Okay, suppose I want that when I will create one object, automatically the data member of the object will be initialized. At that time I will use constructor. In order to use constructor, there are some rules. Before using constructor, let me explain some rules related to constructor. We know that constructor is a special member function, but when you are using constructor, at that time you have to follow some rules. The first rule is that the constructor name must be same as the class name. Okay, this is the first rule. Name must be same as the class name. For example, I am just writing one example for this one. For example, let the class name is A. Okay, you are writing some coding here and you want to use constructor, then the name of the constructor will be A. Okay, this is the first rule. What is the rule? The rule is that the name of the constructor must be same as the class name. Suppose you are using a class B, then the name of the constructor is B. This is the first rule. Second rule is that, let me write the second rule, is that it is not having any return type. Okay, the second rule is that not having any return type. Whenever you are writing a function, at that time the function must return something. If the function is not returning anything, then that will be specified by void. But whenever you are using constructor, there is no return type. For example, suppose the name of the class is A and you are using constructor, then it is not having any return type. This is the second rule, that constructor is not having any return type. If of course it is a function, but it is not having any return type. Now let me explain about the third rule. It is not having any return type, but it may have arguments. The third rule is that it may have arguments. It means that you may pass values or you may pass parameters to a constructor. This is the third rule. And let me explain about the fourth rule. Actually, I will explain about the third and fourth rule in one example. And the fourth rule is that one class may consist of number of constructor. One class may contain number of constructor or multiple constructor. It means that we can use constructor overloading in a class. Multiple constructor. Okay. These are all about the rules of constructor. Now I am going to take one example so that you will be clear how to use the constructor, what is the syntax of using constructor, and how to execute the constructor, when the constructor is going to be executed. Let me explain all those by using one example. Before giving one example on constructor, let me explain how many different types of constructor. The types of constructor are, first one is default constructor, second one is parameterized constructor, and third one is copy constructor. Okay, what is the meaning of default constructor? If the constructor is not taking any argument, then that is called as default constructor. Very simple, because all the constructor, whatever may be the type, they are not having return type. This is one important rule associated with constructor. And I have already explained that the constructor can take argument, but if any constructor is not taking any argument, then that is called as default constructor. First, I will explain the default constructor by giving one simple example. A function to initialize the data member of a class, and the name of the constructor must be same as the class name. This is the rule. And whatever may be the type of the constructor, it is not having any return type. This is the another rule. And it may take argument, but if you are not passing any argument, then the constructor is called as default constructor. So this portion I have written here. This is the example of default constructor. Then I have used void so cout n. Inside the constructor, I have initialized n with 100. You may initialize with any value, no problem. Then in the void main part, here I have explained demo d. When you are writing demo d, it means that one memory location is allocated and the data member is created. Okay. Whenever during runtime the object is allocated, it means that the object is created. Automatically the constructor will be executed and n value will be 100. Okay. Here I have not used any input method. Again I will show one example to use input method also, but in this example I have not used input method. Then d.so. When you are calling d.so, at that time this function will be executed, the so function will be executed and the value output will be 100. If instead of 100, if you will initialize with 10, 20, whatever, then you will get that value, no problem. I just want to explain one thing here, that whenever you will create the object demo d, at that time the constructor part will be executed and the value will be initialized n with 100. This is all about the default constructor. Now I am going to explain about parameterized constructor. What is the difference between default and parameter? In case of default there is no argument, in case of parameter there is argument. Okay. Here I have used class demo, then inside demo I have used one int n. In the public part I have used the constructor demo int x. This is the parameter, and for that reason this constructor is called as parameterized constructor. In the previous example I have used default constructor. Here I am using parameterized constructor. Then inside the demo constructor I have initialized n value with x, then void so method. When you will create the object, here I have used inside the main method, I have used demo ob20. What is the meaning of this? When you are writing this one ob20, at that time this portion will be executed, parameterized constructor will be executed, and the memory allocated for ob, the n will be suppose 20. Here I am passing 20, that's why n will be 20. So when ob.so will be executed, when you will call ob.so, output will be 20. This is a very simple example of parameterized constructor. I hope you have got some basic idea about default constructor and parameterized constructor. But still, if you have any doubt, then please write to me in the comment box. Now, I want to say you one more thing is that suppose by mistake when you are writing only demo OB, for example, suppose by mistake you have used parameterized constructor, but at the time of creating the object you are not passing parameter, okay, system will prompt error because at that time the constructor will be executed and you are not passing any parameter, that's why system will prompt error. This is one important rule is that if you are using constructor then it is compulsory to use it, okay. This is the difference in between other member function and constructor. Here I will not use this statement, okay, OB20, okay, but I have not written OB.so, there will be no error because you may use member function or you may not call the member function, no problem. But if you are using constructor in the class and at the time of defining the object you are not using it, at that time it will create error. This is all about parameterized constructor. Now I am taking one example in which I am using multiple constructor, okay. Suppose the class name is class demo, you may use any other name, no problem, then intn. Then in the public part, suppose I am using default constructor demo, then inside the default constructor I have initialized n with 100, then again I am using one parameterized constructor demo intx, then inside the parameterized constructor n equal to x, okay. Here I have used two constructor, one is default and another one is parameterized, and I have used one void show method. In the void show, just I am displaying the value of n, okay. This is all about the class demo. Then in the main function void main, I am using two objects to show you the use of two different constructor differently. Suppose demo OB1 and demo OB2. OB2 here I am passing 50, okay. Then OB1 dot show, then OB2 dot show. Now let me explain what will happen here. In the class demo, I have used one integer variable, two constructor, this portion is default, this portion is parameterized, and one show method, okay. In the main function, I have used demo OB1. When you are creating one object OB1, it means that here default constructor will be executed. Why? Because we are not passing any argument, and in the class we have used two constructor, and as we are not passing any argument, default constructor will be executed, and for that reason here the n value will be initialized with 100 in case of OB1. But when we are creating demo OB2 50, at that time OB2 will be created and n will be initialized with 50, and here parameterized constructor will be executed. Why? Because here we are passing parameter, okay, 50 integer value, and in the parameterized constructor also I have used one integer argument parameter. For that reason here n value will be initialized with 50. So when we are calling OB1.show, output will be 100, and when we are calling OB2.show, output will be 50. Okay. Here also I want to add some more points. I am passing 50 here directly. You may pass argument also. Suppose in the void main method, I have used one integer a, then I am writing cout enter a number, then you may enter any number C in A, then OB1 dot suppose here you are writing demo OB1, it means that here we are calling default constructor, then demo OB2, then A. This is different from the previous example. In the previous example I have passed 50, but here I am passing A. If you will enter 100, then the value of OB2 n will be initialized with 100. If you will pass 1000, then n will be 1000. Okay, in this way. Then OB1 dot so, then OB2 dot so. I want to just show you this another approach of passing argument. Instead of constant value, you can pass variable also. It is also more preferred by the programmer in comparison to passing constant value. I hope you have got some basic idea of using multiple constructor in a class, and using multiple constructor in a class is termed as constructor overloading. Constructor overloading. Okay. Just like it is function overloading, constructor overloading is a approach in object oriented programming which facilitate that you can use multiple constructor in a class. Now I am going to explain about copy constructor, which is very one important concept in C++. Okay. In case of copy constructor, it is slightly different from default and parameterized. We may say that copy constructor is also a type of parameterized constructor, but difference is that in case of copy constructor, it takes object as argument. Okay, but in case of parameterized constructor, you can pass any value, any sort of parameter like int, float, char, double, etc. But in case of copy constructor, it is generally restricted to be used in case of object as argument. Okay, now I am taking one example, but before that I want to say you that when you are passing argument, you can pass call by value, call by address and call by reference. Already I have explained about all the different types of passing argument in the previous class. Okay, but in case of copy constructor, it is also restricted that the object will be passed as reference. It means that here we will use call by reference, not call by value, not call by address. But in case of parameterized constructor, you may use call by value, call by address, call by reference, no problem. But in case of copy constructor, you have to pass object as argument, and the second restriction is that you will use call by reference. Let's start. Suppose I am using the same class name, class demo, then intn, then public. Okay. In the public part, I am writing one default constructor, demo, then n equal to 10. Then I am using the copy constructor, demo ampersand d. Then n equal to d dot n. Then void so. Here let me use one more method, void input, cout, enter a number, cin n, then void so. In the void so method, cout n. Okay. This is all about the class. Let me explain the class once again. The class name is class demo. I have used one integer variable n. Then in the public part, I have used one default constructor, then one copy constructor. You can see that it is very similar to parameterized constructor, but here I am passing one argument and I am using call by reference concept. Then inside the copy constructor, n equal to d dot n. Then one void input method and then void so method. It is all about the class. Now in the main function, void main, Suppose I am using demo OB1. When you are writing this one, obviously default constructor will be executed. Suppose this is OB1 and inside the OB1 n value will be initialized with 10 because here default constructor will be executed. We know that if we are using constructor at the time of object creation, constructor must be executed. Okay, it is a rule. Then suppose I will display ob1.show using ob1.show method, then the output will be 10. We know this because the n value is 10 here. Suppose again I am calling ob1.input and let here you may enter any value. Input method will be executed. This method will be executed. You may enter any value. Suppose I am entering 99 here. Now the n value is 99. Okay. Now suppose I am writing demo ob2 within bracket ob1. When I am writing this, it is very similar. It is looking similar to parameterized constructor. It is using the copy constructor. This part will be executed and ob1 will be passed as an argument, or we may say that the reference of ob1 will be used and the value, n value of this is ob2, n value of ob2 will be initialized with 99. Why? Because inside the ob1 n value is 99 and when we are passing ob1 to ob2, ob1 to ob2 here, ob1 reference is x and we have used the statement n equal to, sorry this is not x, this is d. Here we have used the statement n equal to d dot n. N means ob2 n and d dot n means this is ob1 n. Okay. In this way copy constructor is working. It is very similar to parameterized constructor. And yes, how we will know that ob2 n is now 99? We will use ob2.show. So we will get 99 here. Output will be 99. In this way copy constructor is working. In case of copy constructor, we are passing object as reference. It is similar to parameterized constructor, but here we are using call by reference concept and passing object as argument. I hope you have got the basic idea about copy constructor, but still if you have any doubt, then please discuss me so that I can clear your doubt. In this class, I have discussed about constructor, the different types of constructor. Those are default constructor, parameterized constructor and copy constructor, and also little bit about destructor. Destructor is similar to constructor, but the difference is that in case of constructor, the data member is initialized, but in case of destructor, the destructor will be executed at the life end of an object. In the next class, we will discuss in detail about destructor and some little bit more programming on constructor. But still, if you have any doubt on this class, then please write to me in the comment box so that I can clear your doubt. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great time.